My name is Jasper Scholz. I'm a senior fellow. I teach in the School of Health and Social Care. What I want to talk about is the Students Consulting on Teaching project, which is a scheme whereby students from across the university are trained over several days to go and observe teaching in a different discipline and give feedback to the lecturer on teaching. Student consultants on teaching, or SCOTs, may go into a lecture and observe it or take part in a seminar activity. So teachers in higher education are well used to getting feedback from students that take part and making adjustments and improvements to the teaching accordingly. I want to talk about my experience in the flipped classroom, where I have taken extensive consultation and evaluation with different kinds of learners to find out what students get from the experience. And in a recent exercise, I compared the feedback received from students that I was teaching within a module with the feedback that I obtained from student consultants on teaching. From the students that I was teaching, I got overwhelmingly positive feedback. Nearly all the students said that they felt that the teaching and learning environment was excellent, and I wasn't able to identify any areas for further improvement at all in terms of how I taught the class or set out the virtual learning environment. However, when I invited 3 student consultants on teaching to join the classroom, these were 2 students from the School of Pharmacy and 1 student from Computer Science, so students from very different disciplines. I found some divergence in the student feedback, which was most interesting. The student consultants on teaching were able to identify 2 distinct areas for improvement in terms of my delivery of the flipped classroom, neither of which had really occurred to me previously. The first issue was in the flipped classroom, where there are lots of group work activities going on, and we're encouraging students to be very interactive and active participants and collaborate with one another. There was a lot of noise. This could interfere with some of the students' learning styles and ability to take in the learning. So noise in the flipped classroom was the first area to consider. And the other area was around visibility, because the flipped classroom can be quite a busy classroom. I tend to use lots of screens and laptops and whiteboards, and there's a lot of co-construction of learning that goes on with students working together and sharing ideas. But what the student consultants on teaching found was that the visibility in the flipped classroom wasn't necessarily brilliant, so sometimes students couldn't see the display from where they were sitting in the classroom. I've learned from experience over the last 4 years of working with student consultants on teaching that if you ask Scots to position themselves at different parts of a lecture theatre, they can give different observations about student behaviour and interaction with the member of staff, teaching staff. So that was quite a useful exercise. So this is an exercise really in seeing that impartial student perspectives on teaching and learning can add to our understanding of the student experience overall. The final point I want to make is that doing this exercise with students, consultants and teaching gave the opportunity to get students from different disciplines to look at the virtual learning environment and its design. And I was very pleased to find that the student consultants in teaching found the Blackboard environment easy to navigate and could easily follow a lot of the instructions and directions given, even though they weren't in a learning programme within the discipline of health and social care that I was teaching.